Hey guys, well, looks like my Osprey Custom 550C is finally done. There's a couple of electric things that need to go on. I still need to put the 1 kilowatt transducer on to get my sounder going. So that's pretty much all that needs to be done, and what I thought I'd do is just go over the boat, do a little vid, and it'll show you more things than what photos can do. So yeah, hopefully I'll answer all your questions. I know there's been a few questions on the difference between this and a Senator. I've had a standard 540 Senator, the 550 Sport Senator, and now I've got the Osprey. So I'll just go through what the Osprey offers, probably more than what my Senator did, and this is just my own opinion. So and it's just against the 550s, so you know, I don't know what a 580 or the 600s hold compared to what the bigger Ospreys do. So hopefully yeah, you'll get to know a little bit more about these Osprey boats. So let's go over it. So going through the outside of the boat, you'll notice that we've got a little lip here that runs right around the boat here, and that's great for when you're coming in to wharfs and stuff like that. You can nudge up and it protects your pontoon there. So that's one cool thing that these Osprey boats have, and the good thing too is you can actually walk around these, and you can walk right around the whole boat, and actual back deck is great. It's all one piece as well, instead of your two-piece platforms, so that's great as well. You can just walk right through here, right around the whole boat with no problems. So that's what I quite like about these boats, and the Senators just have the standard pontoon with the little two platforms. So that's one bonus for the Osprey. Now on the standard 550 or 540 or 565 Ospreys, they have just a couple of little rails here. Now what I've done is I've got a custom made bow rail put on my boat. Reason being is just to have something a little bit different compared to the other Ospreys. And once again, the great thing is when you're walking around the front here, there's something to hold on to go right round. And my boys like to get up here if we're following dolphins and stuff like that, so you know, that's quite nice to know that they're protected in there and they'll stay in there. So yep, the bow rail is quite a big bow rail, but I mean it just gives something different compared to the other Ospreys. So that was one custom thing that I did, just to make it look a little bit different than everybody else's Osprey. Now also what we've got here is the Maxwell electric winch that I'm running, and the cool thing about the Osprey boat is they've actually put it down in a just a little drop there, instead of mounting on top of your deck, so it's sort of more streamlined. Probably more for looks than anything, so that's quite a nice feature as well. It's sitting down in that little well there. They've also got quite a nice thing here for your anchor, sits in there quite well. Now what you'd probably have to do is, it is a little bit different compared to other boats, and my anchor doesn't actually fit right in there, so you'd probably have to customize an anchor to fit in there. When I'm going, it's fine, doesn't go anywhere, so it's not a problem, and you can do it up tight, it snugs in there. But what happens is it sort of goes in there, hits this protector here as well, and it sort of jams in there a bit. So not too much of a problem, but that's something that you'd have to look at changing. Not this, but I would change my anchor to suit. Now they've got some, the welds are quite nice, nicely finished off, and yeah, that's just, I'll show you a couple of these close up welds just so you can have a look at those. and it's actually welded all along the bottom here of this lip as well. Now what I've noticed too is the water line doesn't actually sit here. It actually sits a little bit further down here on the pontoon. Now these pontoon boats are meant to be the most buoyant pontoon on the market, and when you see it on the water, it floats like a cork. So yeah, they look pretty good. Got your pontoon that goes past your back transom there as well. So one thing I quite like about these Osprey boats is all the closed off compartments are pressure tested. So you've got your pontoons and all your underfloor sealment, so they're all pressure tested. Not too sure about what they do on the Senator, but I quite like that. And also you can see they've changed the shape of their pontoons. They've gone more like to that sort of D shape, so they're a lot more quiet, and you know, you don't get that pounding of that flat surface and whatnot. So yes, the pontoons on these boats I think are really good. You know, just and stability and flotation of these boats are just outstanding. The boarding ladder is probably twice as long as the Senator. The Senator probably set off here, so although that sits quite far up, it's not too much of a problem. You drop it to get in, and even if you're fishing in the corner, you can just drop it over the side and fish off the corner anyway. So no biggie, but it's great having a bit of a longer boarding ladder to get in. Now one great bonus I think in these boats compared to the Senator is we've got a 23 degrees dead rise compared to 18 I think it is on the Senator. You should be able to see that deep V there. Now also looking at the front of the boat, you can see it's very deep in the front as well, so cuts through the water very nicely. I've only been out in the boat a couple of times, and we were in probably about 15 maybe 20 knots. The other day we went right out to Channel Island and had a 2 metre swell rolling, and there was not a problem whatsoever with these boats. Now what they have done with these new Ospreys is they have changed a little bit in the pontoon. Looks like they've downturned the pontoon there, running down the side there, sort of instead of fully round. I'm not too sure about what they actually have done, but these are basically pontoons. What I noticed with the Senator is it was more of a downturn chime, and I don't think I would say that the Senators just don't have that pontoon sort of sitting in the water as good as these. I found in the Senator was a little bit more rolly, and what I think it is these are pontoons, and that just stops all your rolling. So you know, standing on one side wasn't a problem. And the Senator, it sort of did roll a bit, so I think these are way more stable in the water at rest. Now what we've got on the Osprey is a 5mm bottom, and the Senator has a 4mm bottom. Now you can sort of say 5mm is a lot heavier, and you know 4mm is enough and whatnot, but what I do like is I do a lot of beach launching, and I go up onto a lot of beaches out here in the Gulf, and just sort of coming up on them with a 5mm bottom is just, I think, a lot better. Heavy wise, I think it's nice to be heavy, and it just keeps your boat in the water going along. So in rough and stuff like that, a heavy boat just seems to ride a lot nicer. You've got the full keel protector there that runs down the whole of the boat. Senator don't have that. It's just something that you have to add on. I think these boats come with these, so You've got your keel protector running down the whole length of the boat as well. Whereas I think when you do get a keel strip on these other boats, they are a little bit wider. They come out here, and but they do only sort of stop at sort of maybe a quarter way down, so I quite like it how it's gone through the whole boat there. The other thing that I quite like is having more perspex hatch. It's a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, it looks a little bit better. The senator hatch is all alley, but the good thing about the senator hatch is it's quite big. So if you're a big dude or you have a couple of kids, they can hang out of the senator one, but that's no biggie for me. I just get my boys coming around the side. They'll be sitting up here, holding on here, looking at dolphins, so I think a lot better. With the screen here on the Osprey, way bigger than the Senator, and you've got a high sided window, or you can go with a low side, and it sort of starts up here and comes up. So I went with the high side, coming off the radar. Just keeps you sheltered from everything in there. High side, like real high on the front of the screen, so it's not in your sight. Sitting on the seats in there, you're looking out basically the middle of halfway up your front screen, where on the Senator, sitting in the seat, I had the view of the top of the window. So what I had to do with my Senator was take it up to somebody to cut them down about 50 mil, I think it was, so I could actually, when I'm sitting, I can be looking out the window. So if you are looking at the Senator, you might want to get in one, sit in it and see where your view is, because I would say you'll be looking at the top of the screen, and the top of the Senator screens are all alley, and it's quite a thick alley sort of plate that runs around the top, so yep, you might want to look at that. With these boring bars, what I did was, they normally come up here and come down from there. What I did was I custom mine, had it coming up and stopping here. Reason being is we do sort of sit on here and sometimes fish off the back, and I thought those bars there might sort of intrude where you're sitting and sort of get up on the side of you, so I've just customised that to be shortened, brought back and welded off here. And what you'll notice too on these Ospreys, the transom here sort of tapers inwards, and then as you get to the sort of 3/4 way up, it sort of heads back outwards. Now I've found that really brilliant so far. We've had a bit of wash the other day out at Channel Island. It was washing up in here because it was a bit rough, and the water sort of splashed up, but it never came over there, over the top of the transom there. What I found on my Senator is the wash, when it got quite washy, there was water sort of splashing up and over. So that's what I've quite like on these. Now I do believe the Senator Sports may be going that way, or have gone that way, or it's something that you have to ask for and change and customise. Okay, now hopping in the boat, the first thing that comes to mind is what I've customised on my Osprey is the top of the gunnels. Now what they normally do is they run down in line with that width there, and that's basically the width of your gunnels there. What I did was I widened them. I quite like wide gunnels. Now what I've found is nothing at all on my body touches the top of that shelf. My foot's up on the bottom there of the side, and just straight away my side's just straight in on top of this, on the inside of this gunnel. So, you know, hauling in a fish, leaning, these are a lot better than what I had in my Senator. Now in my two Senators, I had to raise the sides. So my standard 540 Senator, when the first one I got, I had to raise 150 mil higher to get a better freeboard on it. And with my 550 Sport, what they had to do for me to get my freeboard this time was I had to drop the floor, which gave a lip basically on the inside of your boat. On the floor it had a lip coming up from here and upwards on that kind of angle, to get that freeboard. So I don't know if they're sort of changing that. They do come with a flat floor now, but I don't know. I think you've lost a bit of your freeboard having that flat floor. So these are all just standard things that Osprey have. Got full flat floor, you've got no lip coming up here. So once again, I think a lot better than what Senator has been doing. Now also having the high sides here, your freeboard's a lot higher. I think in my old Senator, my 540, my first one, it was about 650 high, and then I had to raise it 150 high to sort of come up around 800, just to be safe for my kids. And once again, like I was saying, leaning into kingfish and stuff like that. In the old Senator, I was basically leaning about here on my knee, which is just about here, so that's probably about how high the Senator sides were. And it was just straight in on your knees, and leaning over into a fish was just near impossible. And with that lip, sort of your foot was up like this, leaning into a fish and whatnot. So I think the standard Senators are still like that, and if you're looking at a standard Senator, I would be customising that freeboard, trying to get that up as high as you can. So yeah, measuring the heights of the sides here, they're 800 high, which is, I think, I mean, this is just standard height compared to your Senator, which was basically, like I was saying, down near here, 650 high. So definitely a lot, I think, safer, 800 high. And as you go further down towards the back there, it actually raises up even higher, and it actually goes to about 120 at the back. So that's giving you even more height at the back. That's actually coming right up basically to my waist. What we've got here at the back is the cubby holes. So got my battery in there, and there's plenty of room for all my other fishing and whatnot. I think the standard Senators had an open back. On my standard Senator, what I did was I customised mine once again, and I closed it off and put in 2 cubby holes. The Senator, I feel, is maybe a little bit more of a wet boat. Those sides that are running around the Osprey there, it seems to just at the front there stop any splash whatsoever coming up over that side there. So any water coming up hitting that under side of that lip, it just hits it and heads out that way. So I think this is a heaps more drier boat than my old Senator was. So inside the cubby here, we've got all the full sort of the fuel kind of things happening in there. One great thing with these is they've actually got 2 breathers, so there's no fuel squirting out and squirting up on you and whatnot. They've got the protector here for all your fuel. I've got a filter in the back there, and if you see any gunk and whatnot through there, you can just unscrew it, wash it out, dry it out, and then put it back in there. At the back there is a actual tap, and that actually turns your fuel permanently off if you needed to, I guess, if you're away or whatnot. So yep, that little thing there is quite cool, compared to Senators just standard, just your fuel's constant. You've got a little bit of storage back there. if you wanted to run another tote, and got a little storage on this side. Probably won't get away with a tote going in there, but you could I just chuck in all my extras cool. And I've got under the floor my fuel tank, and it actually holds 205 litres of fuel, so plenty of underwater under fuel storage there, so don't really need to go with totes. And the side storage is a little bit different compared to Senator, so it's up higher. The Senator one is down here and it's all open with a lip. Not too sure on that. I think the Senator's got you can lie your tanks, your dive tanks and stuff like that in those bottom compartments, so if you're a diver, obviously the Senator probably will be better for you. But it's quite cool having your compartments up here, just putting in your tackle and what. One thing that is a lot better than what I found in the Senator is your Osprey call this a radar arc, basically a rocket launcher. These basically you could probably do chin-ups on. Now with your Senator one, it's just a couple of bars. It's just these bars coming up, crossing over, with a few of these on top. Now this here is yeah, I mean, like I was saying, you could do push-ups, chin-ups on this, and it just wouldn't move. So you can run all sorts, obviously off the top of these. I've got a deck light. I've put my VHF up here. My aerial, and I've got a anchor light up there as well, which you can do with the Senator ones, but you'd have to be putting plates and stuff on them. I got this added, my rocket launcher added, basically came without that, and what I did was I got my rod holders facing more straight up. Now what you find on most rocket launchers is your rod holders are basically facing out like that. You put your rods in, and your rods are sitting over your head, sort of, and you're striking at fish and you're hitting them. So I customized mine and made them go more straight up and down. More storage in the side here, storage up through here, and storage that side on the port side, and you got big storage shelving right up through the side here, up into the cabin. Now there's probably 3 times more storage than you get in the Senator, so there's a lot more storage up here. It's a bigger cabin than the Senator, so you lose a little bit of your fishing room. As you can see, I think there's still plenty of room down the back here for fishing for 4 guys, but your Senator is more open on the deck and a smaller cabin. So you know, if you want a bigger deck space, obviously in the Osprey you'll have to go a little bit longer, go to a 580 or 590, whereas in your 550 Senator you do get probably another quarter of that deck space. Only reason being is this is a lot longer, lot bigger, but in saying that, all this is just all closed off, and you just do not get wet in here. It is very close to feeling like a hardtop. What I've done is I've gone to a brow canopy. So off the front there I've got a little brow, and I've got players coming right around the whole thing. They can all be taken off, and this was the canopy was done by North Shore Canvas, and they've done an extremely great job on that. And they've put a big zip at the front there that you can just zip down, roll up, and that opens up, or you can just take off these whole clears and it'll just open it right up. So sitting, like I was saying, sitting in the Osprey, you're basically looking out a very big sort of area on your window. Now if you were in the Senator, you'd be facing basically that, probably a little bit wider because the windows on the Senators are quite wide, got a wide alley strip and stuff like that. So yep, sitting in the Osprey, basically you got that view there, which is a lot better. But like I was saying, you just have to cut down your seats in your Senator or get those custom made before done. Lot more, I feel, I don't know, more roomy than a Senator. You've got your rails here for holding on. You've got a rail up here which Senator don't have. Decent dash there to put anything up on there. Now what I did with my seats is, I think these Ospreys come with the side seats coming off the side like Staby do. What I did was I went back to the pods, and reason being is I think you just get a little bit more storage in them. So I've got a top storage here, and I've also got some storage underneath. Now what they normally do when they do these seats in Senator, they're all just open. What I did with mine is I customised mine and I put a couple of cubbies on just to keep it all nice and dry in there. Coming into more into the cabin, I've got a couple of bunks, so obviously you can have bunks in the Senator or this, so pretty much similar to Senator. What I did find with my Senator ones, what I did was I raised my cushions up, gave me a little bit more storage and underneath, but there's still plenty of storage underneath here if you want to chuck a bit of gear in there. One thing I was saying about with the Perspex hatch compared to the Senator one's all alley, so it's quite dark in the cabin in your Senator. So this just lightens up quite well. Both of mine had the hatch for the winch, so basically you need one of these if you go electric winch, because you need to, I leave this open to air, and then you really want to wash it all out. So you know, electric winches and stuff like that all closed off, so make sure you definitely have a hatch in there to get in there, give it a wash and airing. Plenty of room down here in the hatch inside the anchor well, and that's holding at the moment 50 meters of rope and 10 meters of chain, and there's still plenty, so you could even go longer on your length of your anchor. They both had quick release sort of cubbies to get in the back there, so not much difference in those. Once again, just plenty of room in here to store stuff. Now with my electrics, what I've gone with is the Simrad. I've got a Simrad 9-inch. I've gone with the Garmin gauge instead of having gauges for your outboard, so this holds all your gauges. And the great thing about these, they're all electric, like obviously the new gauges that the 4-strokes have, but with this you can have 5 or 6 pages of anything basically you want on there. You can have your fuel economy, your volume, your RPM, your gauge for your outboard, your trim and tilt. So yeah, that's quite cool. I'll just switch it on for you. So coming down the back, I've got my main power here, switch it on, and that one is for my anchor. So coming back up here on my Garmin, what I've got set up on this page is I've got my RPMs, I've got my trim, I've got my trip fuel used. So the other day we went to Tiri, up around Tiri, did a bit of roaming around Tiri, and came back, so we used 18 litres out to Tiri, roaming around a bit and coming back, so that's quite cool. on the 4-stroke Honda, and I've got total flow fuel liters per hour, so that once you're running, obviously that comes up and it tells you what you're sort of running at an hour. So heading out to Turi the other day, might have been running say 4,000 RPM. It was probably pushing something like 15 liters an hour. With your pages, like I was saying, you can run through them, so engine hours, and these are just all different pages that I don't sort of use at the moment. I'm still learning how to use it, so that's quite cool, having all those, and you can set them up however you want, and whatever you want on there on that gauge. And with my Maxwell anchor, I've got a road, an anchor road, and that just gives me how much feet it's up and down. So what I found with my old boat was I was just letting it down and going, has a hit. So if you're sitting in obviously 100 feet of water on here, you let this out and you might go to 130 feet or something like that, so that's great. It tells you where you're at. With the Simrad, that's it's plenty that what I need. It's the NSS9, I think it is, something like that. So I'm still going to be learning how to sort of sort that out. I mean, that's giving me a lot more than what I had last time, so I just got to really start learning how to use these things instead of just switching it on and going. Down here I've got my VHF, and one other thing that I'm going to probably be putting in here is just a little stereo for when we go out with my boys. You know, I might be doing a little bit of fishing and they can just hear it, listen to some of the music, keeps them occupied while I can get it on me. Coming back to the back of the transom, got the fuel cap there. Now what I found with Senator was in a nightmare of a position. Building a bait station and stuff like that was a little bit of a nightmare, so they come with a bait board all sorted out, and I would suggest if you want to do a bait board on your Senator, try and get what they've got, because building something around where their cap sits is a little bit of a nightmare. Either you'd have to reposition where that goes on a Senator, or yeah, you go with your bait station. The Osprey bait station I think is pretty cool. It is robust as hell. Basically, I think they normally come with your ski pole as well, so that comes up here and has your bit up there for your rope. I didn't go with that because we don't really do that as yet, so I've just gone with a few more rod holders to hold my 12 rods that I take out when I go fishing. Cool thing about this one is it just folds away, so if you are just cruising about, you just fold that up and that's just out of your way. So that's quite a cool bait station. Okay, now when I was looking at the boats, I was contemplating whether to go with Merc. I've been a Merc man all my life basically, and haven't had too many problems with them. My latest 4-stroke gave me a little bit of grief, and they couldn't really figure out why it happened. It was all fixed and stuff through the warranty, so it wasn't a biggie. But I built my last Senator to be able to do wide missions and crossing maybe even the Kuiper Bar and maybe the Manukau, so I lost a little bit of confidence in that Merc. So this is my very first Honda that I've had so far. The one or two runs that I've had in it, I'm pretty stoked. Quiet as, a lot quieter than the Merc. I think it's a lot more fuel efficient than the Merc was. And I hadn't had the older Merc before the new ones that just came out in 2015, so I think the 2015 is a lot better than the older one, so I did end up with what you could probably say just a little bit of a pig of a Merc. So So far so good with the Honda. So this is the Honda 100 4-stroke, and this is brand new. It's only I've done about 7 hours now, so yep, stoked as so far with this. I've got to catch up with the Honda boys for my prop. We've got to set up my prop and whatnot. It's only pulling, I think, 5.8 at the moment, so we probably just got to play around with a couple of the props and get it running even better. So yep, I think I think I might become more of a Honda dude. So yeah, so far so good. Okay, also what the Osprey boys did for me was they bought me a trailer for my boat. Now they are called Alert trailers, and I think they're built just straight out of the factory down in where they build the Osprey boats. Cool thing about these trailers, they're built for the boat. They're a very deep V boat, so basically my boat is sitting down in it like a cradle, rather than sitting up high on a standard trailer. So these are all aluminium built, so all alley, which I think will last way longer than obviously your galvanised. So we've got some big alley mud guards there, which is quite impressive. Now the great thing about this trailer with the boat as well, we've got a walking platform down the middle there. So as you unhitch the boat at the front there, you can actually walk down there to let it off, your missus, whatever, as you're driving or whatever you want to do. Now also, once again, bringing it back in, you hook it up, you can walk up here and jump off and start winding the boat on. Now they're all rollers running through there, and at the back what we've got is got a little bit of a plastic guard there. Now I think what that is basically helping to do is, if you want to drive your boat onto the trailer, you just nudge it into there. It's all that same shape, and it just gets onto the rollers and you fire it up and head forward. Now at the front here you've got your easy load basically part there, so you drive the boat on, comes up, clips over that, rolls back, hooks onto there, and you drive out, and then you hook it up, wind it up. So letting your boat down, basically you just take that off and she rolls back and she's in. So just winding it up, just make sure that's back on, and yeah, tickety boo. Now one thing I did do, because I do a lot of beach launching, the boys lengthened my drawbar. So normally when you're on the normal trailers you can't open your boot and stuff like that, so that's helped that as well. But yeah, that is quite a long distance, so you know, my car's sitting up here, boat's already in the water, way more quicker than what it is on a normal trailer. So yep, so that's quite a cool bonus. So yep, once again, Alert trailers built by Osprey as well, and I think that they're brilliantly built. Some real nice welding going on with the Alert trailers, so they're finished off quite nicely in aluminium. So I think that's pretty much it. So North Shore Canvas, they did my canopy. So it's got the brow on it, and you can undo all the clears if you want to. The guy that did my electrics he's GT Marine, so he's put in my Simrad, he's put in my Garmin, he's put in my Maxwell Road and stuff like that, VHF, and he's wired that all up for me, and he did a brilliant job. He's done my lights up there, he's done my nav lights. So that's GT Marine. So if you want any electric stuff done like that, that's George from GT Marine, and he also does servicing on outboards and rebuilds and whatnot. So he's on Facebook, so you just tap in GT Marine and get hold of George for anything like that. And yeah, Honda, from the Honda boys, they sorted that out for me, and the Osprey Osprey boat and the Elliott trailer from Osprey. What more can I say? I think basically I've become an Osprey person and a Honda person overnight. So overall, I think the Osprey boat and the Honda outboard I've been very impressed with. So I think from now on, I'll probably be sticking with Osprey. I quite like my pontoon boat, so I know there's other boats like Kiwicraft and whatnot, but these boats seem to be quite far superior than the other pontoon boats. So yeah, that's all I have on my new 550C custom made Osprey. So I know you guys have had a lot of questions and stuff, so hopefully that answers quite a bit for you, and hope you hope you quite like my boat. Thanks.